Hello. In the sixth week of Building Materials course, we are going to look at our last basic materials: wood, polymers, bitumen, paint, varnish, and linoleum. Let's start with wood. For the wood, we are going to examine the tree, the characteristics. We are going to look at the sizing of timber, defects in timber, preservation properties of timber, and some of the wood products. Wood is a hard and fibrous substance which forms a major part of the trunk and the branches of a tree. It can also be defined as natural polymeric material. It has more thermal insulation, sound absorption, and electrical resistance as compared to steel and concrete. The terms timber and wood are often used synonymously, but they have distinct meanings in building industry. Wood is the hard, fibrous material that makes up the tree under the bark, whereas timber may be defined as a wood, which retains its natural physical structure and chemical composition and is suitable for various engineering works. A tree can be divided into three portions. First, the crown, composed of branches and leaves. Second, the trunk, and the roots. The trunk accounts for about 80% of the total bulk of the wood. In spring, the roots of the trees suck sap as food from the soil, which reaches the branches and the leaves. Sap contains moisture, which gets evaporated. It absorbs carbon from air in presence of sunlight and becomes denser. In autumn, the sap descends and deposits in the form of a layer below the bark. This layer, referred as the cambium layer, hardens and adds a layer of wood to the outside of the tree every year in the form of concentric rings. These annual rings furnish valuable information regarding the age of the log, the rapidity and uniformity of its growth. This is the first year growth. In here we have a wide ring. It means that it has a rainy season. We have some narrow rings here in dry season. There is a scar from maybe a forest fire or something else. The cells formed in the cambium layer are primarily cellulose and are commonly referred as fibers because of their needle-like shape. They are cemented into groups by lignin, which gives the strength to wood. The comparative width of annual rings, the direction and the arrangement of the cells and fibers are the causes of the grains of the wood. Rapidly growing trees having wide annual rings produce coarse-grained wood, while those of slower growth produce wood with narrow rings or fine grain. Macrostructure of the timber can be studied by cutting the trunk in three directions. First we have cross or transverse section, or we can have longitudinal section here, or we can do it as a radial section. In the cross-sectional and radial ducts, the following main parts of a tree: bark, the outmost outer layer, the cambium, sapwood, we have here with the light color. With dark color we have hardwood and pith in the center become readily apparent. Timber should be felled as soon as it is matured. The best time is midsummer or midwinter, when the sap is at rest. If it is felled when the sap is vigorous in movement, the timber decays. If the tree is cut young, it yields soft wood, and if it stands too long, the decay starts. Trees are classified as endogenous or exogenous according to the mode of growth. Endogenous trees grow endwards, like palm or bamboo. Opposite of this, exogenous trees grow outwards and are used for making structural elements. In the exogenous trees we have conifers. These are evergreen trees having pointed needle-like leaves. They show distinct annual rings, have straight fibers, and are soft, with pine as an exception, light in color, resinous, and lightweight. Or we can have deciduous trees. Those have flat board leaves. The annual rings are indistinct with exception of poplar and basswood. They yield hardwood and non-resinous, dark in color and heavyweight. Narrow annual rings, closer the rings, greater is the strength. Compact medullary rays, dark color, free from defects, and uniform texture are the properties of good timber. Also, a good timber has a sweet smell, a shining cut fresh surface without any wooliness. They are heavyweight, and when struck, sonorous sound is produced. Let's look at the seasoning of timber. Timber cut from freshly felled tree is too wet for normal use and is dimensionally unstable. Seasoning is the process of reducing the moisture content, drying, of timber in order to prevent the timber from possible fermentation and making it suitable for use. It can also be defined as the process of drying the wood to moisture content approximately equal to the average humidity of the surroundings where it is to be permanently fixed. The log of wood is sawn into planks of convenient sizes and stacked under a covered shed in crosswise direction in alternate layers so as to permit free circulation of air. The duration of drying depends upon the type of the wood and the size of planks. The rate of drying is, however, very slow. Air seasoning reduces the moisture content of the wood to 12 to 15%. In kiln seasoning, it's adapted for rapid seasoning of timber on large scale to any moisture content.